Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'll be covering the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, number 17. This is volume 2, the deluxe edition, and this is the second part of their coverage entitled The Book of the Dead. So these are all of our prominent deceased characters, and we have a great wraparound cover from cover artist Keith Pollard here, showing the dead denizens of the Marvel Universe covered in this issue that covers Destiny to Hobgoblin. So again, I like the darker livery of this cover versus the white of the first 15 volumes. And prominent on the cover, of course, is Guardian, recently deceased as of the publication of this book. Also have Drax the Destroyer, Dracula, some others. Green Goblin, obviously. So we'll get into them all as we cover our way through this this particular volume, number 17. Our front piece has a very interesting column that I'll get to in a second here, but let's go with our principal creators on this issue. Mark Gruenwald, editor-designer, Peter Sanderson, writer-researcher, Joseph Rubinstein, inker, embellisher, Greg Wright, assistant editor, Keith Pollard, cover penciler, Andy Anchus, colorist. And then who does our art touch-up here? James Fry, art contributor. And a host of other hardworking staff did this as well. Veracity Quotient is the title of Mark Gruenwald's column here on the front piece. And I'll just get to the second paragraph that covers the gist of what he's talking about here. Considering the whole canon of the Marvel Universe comics remind me of a question that's posed to us from time to time. Namely, is every single event in every single story in a Marvel Universe comic equally valid? Or did some stories, events, and facts never really happen? The answer, every single story set in the mainstream Marvel Universe did indeed occur. But since the accounts we have of these events were filtered through the perceptions of the talents of writers, errors in translation may have occurred. So that's how they get kind of their get out of jail free card. And the inside back cover we'll see is going to be basically the beginning of an exhaustive list of every mainstream Marvel title that all of the stories and characters are drawn from. It's pretty ambitious, actually, when you think about it. We start off with a character, Destiny. This is not to be confused with a mutant precog from X-Men. This is Destiny 1. Real name, Paul Destine. Artwork, Javier Solteris here. Pretty nice. Former Carnival mentalist. Later, presidential candidate. First appearance, Submariner number 7. Origin, Iron Man, and Submariner number 1. And you see him, his death scene here is him plummeting off this rooftop. Pretty great Marvel house style artwork there from Destiny. Let's see, he's 6'2", 285. Strength level. Before finding the Helmet of Power, Destiny possessed the normal human strength of a man his age, height, and build who engaged in moderate exercise. The helmet transformed him so as to give him the equivalent of normal human strength of a man. Okay, that's a misprint there. That's interesting. In the close vicinity of the Helmet of Power, Destiny could draw energy from it that gave him superhuman strength. And here we see that displayed. Some great Gene Colan artwork there too in this panel drawn from an issue of Submariner. Some Buscema there, very nice. Gene DeWolf, real name, Gene DeWolf. Captain, 37th Precinct, Manhattan, New York Police Department. First appearance, Marvel Team Up number 48. Final appearance, Spectacular Spider-Man 107. She was part of that great Sin Eater storyline. It was really a gripping one. And boy, this is the tough panel here where she buys it. Sin Eater blasts her. She was a great supporting character with a lot of, frankly, character. She had a lot of cool edges on her. She drove an old school roadster. She had an attitude. She had a very good repartee with Spider-Man. Really cool. And that's a Mark Teixeira piece, which is very nice. Dr. Lemuel Dorcas. First appearance, Submariner number 5. Final appearance, Supervillain Team Up number 3. Here he is, meeting his end in some very grisly fashion here. Let's just read quickly what happened here. Dorcas was about to fire a lethal blast from his hand weapon at Namor when the Octomech fell atop the criminal scientist, crushing him to death. So there we go. That's an Octomech falling on him. 5'11", 195, normal human strength. He's basically one of those guys who relies on gadgets. He's a gadget villain, as I like to call them in superhero tabletop roleplay games. Dr. Sun, always love the visuals on this character, really cool. Full name, unrevealed. Former scientist, later would-be conqueror. Other aliases, Herbie. Oh yeah, he took over the Fantastic Four's Herbie robot. Here he is being destroyed here as Herbie. First appearance, oddly, is Tomb of Dracula number 16. Final appearance, Fantastic Four, it looks like 327 or 317. They kind of made a mistake there with this 4 digits there, so you got to pick your doom for Herbie / Dr. Sun. That's some interesting artwork by Mark McLaurin. Physical characteristics and strength. The physical characteristics and strength level that Dr. Sun possessed in his human body are unknown. Known superpowers, Dr. Sun possessed various psionic powers, enabling him to take control of the minds of others. And obviously he had this cool robotic body. Here he is projecting a force field against Nova. I think he did become sort of a Nova villain, but I guess he wound up meeting his fate in Fantastic Four. Dorma, with some beautiful John Buscema artwork there. The Lady Dorma, first appearance, FF Annual number 1. Final appearance, Submariner 37. Here she is being killed by the vicious Lyra. That's a pretty gripping panel there. 5'10", 185, so she's a denser musculature. For surviving the ocean depths. Some cool panels here where she's drawn. She could lift press 2 tons under optimal conditions due to her Atlantean heritage, and she had a number of related powers to surviving underwater. Great Dracula. I want to say that's Bill Sienkiewicz. Let me just make sure. Yeah, pretty awesome. Bill Sienkiewicz, Dracula there. And of course, he's shown dying here, being exposed to the sun. Nice long entry here with tons of great Gene Colan artwork. This is cool. This is from Fantastic Four, or I should say X-Men 159, where he battles the X-Men. I think that's Brent Anderson artwork there. It's pretty cool, that one as well. He also battles them again in X-Men Annual 6, so these panels could come from there. I'm a little fuzzy in my memory, but he was 6'5", 220. As a vampire, Dracula possessed superhuman strength and able to lift press of over 1 ton, which is ridiculous. He was much stronger than that. He regularly displayed feats of strength that far exceeded that. Here he is, stopping Colossus here, who could lift press 70 tons, dead in his tracks, and then he just sort of flips him away casually. So, yeah, Dracula gets a pretty intense and long entry here. Drax the Destroyer, excellent John Byrne artwork on this one, really cool. I guess he was at DC at this time he did this, or maybe he'd had it done for a while, I'm not sure. Or maybe this was drawn from the old Handbook entry. That might have been Byrne art that they got out of the archives, I'm not sure, but really nice. Very cool. Real name, Arthur Douglas, former real estate agent, now agent of Kronos. First appearance, Iron Man 55, that immortal issue, that it's also the first appearance of Thanos. Final appearance, Avengers 220. Origin, Captain Marvel number 32. So very cool. Here is Moondragon actually destroying his mind, which is pretty great. And of course, he would later come back, re-envisioned, losing this 70s style costume, which I liked, but I also like the new knife-wielding version of Drax that sort of makes its way into the Guardians movies, but really started with the Annihilation miniseries. Very cool character. He possessed superhuman strength, could lift press 40 tons, and he had a host of other cosmic powers, surviving in space, flying in space, energy blast. He was powerful. Eel. This is the first Eel. Leopold Strike was his name. Strange Tales 112. His first appearance. Last appearance, Ghost Rider 21. And it looks like, oh, he meets his death at the hands of the gladiator in very grisly fashion. Who draws that one? Let's see. Jim Lee. Oh, nice. Some early Marvel Jim Lee here. Pretty nice artwork. Great character. Egghead. Elias Starr. Tales to Astonish, number 38. Final appearance, Avengers 230. I don't know if they ever brought him back. This is that great Henry Pym redemption story arc where Pym beats him, Egghead, in the whole Masters of Evil and is walking away triumphantly. And Egghead pulls a gun, and meanwhile Hawkeye shows up and prevents Pym from being shot in the back. But the resulting backblast kills Egghead. And Hawkeye is exonerated by the police and the Avengers as it was an act of self-defense. Excuse me. There's some great Egghead sequences pulled from various points in the Marvel Universe. On to the next entry, The Enforcer, Charles Delasny Jr. Let's see, first appearance, Ghost Rider 22. Final appearance, Iron Man 194. Oh yeah, he's another victim of Scourge. I like that artwork though, I'm gonna check it out. Rudy Nebres, no wonder why I liked it. I love Rudy Nebres. My favorite Conan artist. He was a Spider-Woman foe as well. Great costume, cool name, lame powers, basically. Just a gadget guy, used guns, worked out, that kind of thing. Not particularly impressive at all. Look at this incredible executioner. Scourge, totally awesome. Look at this incredible death scene authored by Walt Simonson. Imported directly into the movies, Thor Ragnarok. First appearance, Journey into Mystery 103. Final appearance, As a Living Being, Thor 362. 362. Yeah, what's tremendous artwork on Scourge, too. Let's see here. Keith Pollard. Yeah, Keith Pollard delivering the goods on that one. Wow. And he gets a long entry because, man, he's a storied villain in Marvel's history. He's 7'2", 1,100 pounds. Strength level, the Executioner possesses vast superhuman strength. He could lift press at least 65 tons, so maybe stronger than that. And he had a number of other powers related to being an Asgardian god. This is a neat one. The Executioner also had the visual acuity of a hunting falcon and was able to discern at 100 feet what the average human could at 10 feet. So that was a cool little ability. And he had a powerful magical axe. Always loved the Enchantress, but never had that love returned. But he definitely went out in a blaze of glory. Fafnir, awesome, dragon. Real name Fafnir, occupation dragon. I didn't really realize that dragon was an occupation, but I guess it is. First appearance and origin, Thor 134. Final appearance, Thor 343. That's pretty great. Here's Thor putting the kibosh on him right here. That's pretty awesome. They don't list his height and weight. That's a typo. As a dragon, Fafnir possessed extraordinary superhuman strength, said to surpass even that of Thor, who possesses class 100 strength and can lift press over 100 tons. I would hope he was class 100. He has a host of invulnerability powers as well. This is all Walt Simonson artwork here, and it's all gorgeous. Totally awesome. And then Amal Farooq by also the, I guess the Shadow King was his other name. This is an artist, Mark Siri. I wouldn't have known that, but I peeked in the credits and saw that it was him. These are some great burn panels here. This is his death scene, essentially, where Xavier mind kills him. First appearance, X-Men 117. Final appearance as a living being, X-Men 117. But he would show up later to plague the New Mutants as an incorporeal being who basically possesses karma and drives her to become this incredibly obese, monstrous being but later is rescued. 6'1", 330 pounds, Amal Farooq was. Firebrand, very cool, old school ham and egger villain. Excellent Steve Root art there. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Here he is, dying at the bar with no name, again as of another victim of Scourge. Gary Gilbert, occupation, radical agitator and terrorist, later business agent for costumed criminals. Identity, publicly known. Origin, Iron Man 27 and 48. First appearance, Iron Man 27. Final appearance, Captain America 319. There's that issue again. This is some great artwork here. I wonder if that's Luke McDonald from his Iron Man run. That is right there, definitely. Okay. He possessed normal strength. His costume contained an exoskeleton that boosted his strength. When he wore it to superhuman levels, he could lift press 15 tons. And he was basically had like Human Torch type powers, though not the absolute control over flame that the Torch possesses. Awesome full killer piece here. That looks like Kevin Nolan. Let me take a look here. It is Kevin Nolan. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Real name unrevealed, Evangelist and Vigilante. Man-Thing number 3. Final appearance, Man-Thing number 4. Origin, Man-Thing number 4. He was another gun-toting character with no superhuman powers. Jacob Fury, who was Scorpio. This is Keith Giffen here in his sort of experimental style. I guess there's him after he unfortunately shot himself. First appearance as Jacob Fury, Sergeant Fury in Italian Commandos, 68. As Scorpio, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1. First death, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1. Final appearance as a human being, Defenders number 50. See kind of a weird and sort of tortured continuity with this character. 5'10", 185. And no superhuman strength to speak of, I think. He did possess that unique weapon, the Zodiac Key. Jacob Fury's principal weapon is the Zodiac Key, an other-dimensional power object that through which tremendous energies may be manipulated psionically. So yeah, there's some great Steranko here. And here, I think. Yeah, some cool stuff. Look at that. I guess that's a Zipatone effect or something. It's pretty cool. Gamera, not the giant flying turtle, the awesome Jim Starlin cosmic character. Former assassin, minion of Thanos. Let's see, first appearance, Strange Tales 180. Final appearance as living corporeal being, Avengers Annual number 7. As a spirit, Marvel Toon 1 Annual number 2. And this is something I didn't agree with. Gamera possessed roughly the same strength as that of a normal human Earth woman of her physical age, height, and building age, and intensive regular exercise. She had superhuman combat capabilities, which I think included enhanced strength, just based on some of the stuff we saw in the comics themselves. But they chose not to depict her that way here. That, I think, is corrected later on when we get to the Abnett landing, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then, of course, in the movies as well. She's a post-human, as they call superhuman characters in that universe. Gargoyle 1, unrevealed real name, scientist, intelligence official. First appearance, Hulk number 1. Final appearance, Hulk number 1. Yeah, so his son is the Gremlin. Boy, here he is blowing up here. That's pretty crazy. No superhuman powers. Gar. This is a Sal Buscema. This character is from that second Eternals limited series. Gar, occupation priest lord. First appearance, Eternals, Volume 2, Number 2. Final appearance, Eternals, Volume 2, Number 12. And here he is being destroyed, I think, by a Celestial. Lots of Sal Buscema artwork here. Oh, that's a great panel right there from Sal. The level of Gar's strength when he possessed his normal form is unknown. Gar possessed extraordinarily vast superhuman strength, far beyond the class 100 level, when he was in his celestial form here. And also he had superhuman powers to manipulate people. The Grand Director, real name unknown, occupation adventurer. Oh boy, that's unfortunate there. Let's see, first modern appearance, Captain America 153, origin, Cap 155, final appearance, Captain America 236. Boy, here he is. He's dying in a horrible conflagration. That's a good piece of artwork. Who does that? Fred Kita. Freddie Kita. Okay. Here's the Green Goblin. That's pretty great. Who does that art? Tom Morgan. That's awesome. Norman Osborn. Then Harry Osborn. Then Green Goblin 3 was Dr. Bart Hamilton, who I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that storyline where he shows up. There's the death scene we all remember, also from the movies. Pretty great. First appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 14. Final appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 122. So he had a long run as one of Spider-Man's deadliest, most notorious villains. Great character. Really cool. And he gets a tremendous entry befitting his status as a major villain. There is some evidence that the original Green Goblin possessed superhuman strength, at least when he was enraged. If so, the first Goblin's strength was somewhat less than that of Spider-Man, who could lift press about 10 tons. Each of the other two Green Goblins only possessed the normal human strength of a man of his age, height, and ability to engage in moderate, regular exercise. No other powers. It was all gadgets. The Hobgoblin's the one who has the powers. Great Grim Reaper here. Wondering if that's Mark Beecham or Sandy Plunkett. Let me take a look. Oh, Ian Aiken. Ian Aiken, longtime Marvel inker, stepping up to do incredible pencils here on Grim Reaper. One of my favorite characters. I recently acquired his first appearance issue, Avengers number 52. So that was nice. Thank you, Jeff from Phantom, for that. Final appearance, Vision and Scarlet Witch, Volume 2, number 2. And we can see him falling into this abyss here. Yeah, some pretty great artwork in these. There's some Perez here. And he had no powers. All of his powers were focused on the gadget that was his scythe, his power scythe. Great Perez here from Avengers 160. Totally awesome. Here we have the late lamented Guardian with some, I think, John Byrne artwork. Yeah, that's a John Byrne shortcut mouth right there. James McDonald Hudson is his real name. First appearance as Weapon Alpha, X-Men 109. As Vindicator, X-Men 120. As Guardian, Alpha Flight number 2. Final appearance, Alpha Flight number 12. Origin, Alpha Flights 2 and 3. Here he is exploding at that immortal death scene, which was, to me, a total bummer. Lots of great Byrne artwork here on display. Really cool. He could lift press 3.5 tons in the Guardian suit, and he had a host of energy-wielding powers, including the ability to fly. Very cool. I don't even need to check credits for this one. This is an excellent Kevin Maguire Hammer and Anvil. So yeah, they were. Their main distinction is they were the Ham and Egger Monster of the Week Hulk villains who showed up after the immortal Hulk 181. They had first appeared in Hulk 182, which does still contain Hulk 182, 2 pages of Wolverine action. So Wolverine is still in that for a page or two. But Hammer and Anvil are the main foes in that issue. Yeah, so, and their final appearance was Marvel Fanfare number 29, which was a Byrne, I think it was like an all pin-up story. Here they are battling the Hulk in that first issue where they meet him. So together, when they're linked together by this alien band, they had superhuman strength enough that they could fight the Hulk. They also had some resistance to injury. But they couldn't resist the rocket pistol of Scourge, so he blew them away in the desert. Oh, I love the artwork on this Hangman. I got to check that. That's really cool. Bill Sienkiewicz, no wonder why. He's great. Yeah, he showed up in Moon Knight. Here he is being killed here by his own weapon. Real name, Harlan Kruger. First appearance, Werewolf by Night, number 11. Final appearance, Bizarre Adventures 31. So, yeah, he was a really strange character. He wanted to keep Spider-Woman safe by keeping her imprisoned. It was just bizarre. He was super into weightlifting, so he was really strong, but of course they just give him the old intensive regular exercise thing. Let's see, how did he die? Let me see. Knowing that the Hangman had to be stopped from murdering again, and knowing, too, that the Hangman might turn around at any moment and kill him, O'Brien fatally plunged Kruger's own scythe into the Hangman's back. Okay, there you go. Quincy Harker, he was a Tomb of Dracula character. Wow, what a spectacular death scene this is. He's exploding out of this tower. Tomb of Dracula, number 7, first appearance, final appearance, Tomb of Dracula 70. Oh, there's a poetry in that. Some cool Gene Colan artwork here. Wheelchair bound, no real superpowers. He was mainly like an organizer and a thinker type. Agatha Harkness, great character, longtime ally of the Fantastic Four and mentor to the Scarlet Witch. Here she is being burned at the stake. Wow. And that's some beautiful artwork. I have to look up who drew that. First appearance, Fantastic Four 94. Final appearance, Vision and Scarlet Witch, Volume 2, number 3. Agatha Harkness. Lee Weeks. I love Lee Weeks. Oh, there's some great George Perez right there. And we have the Hate Monger, drawn by John Byrne. Very sinister character. Here he is being shot. It's funny, this is a bad typo. They don't list any of his name, first appearances, or anything. So that was all missed out there. Interesting. This is sort of one of those weird capsule entries, I think, because so many different people were the Hate Monger, maybe. Maybe that's why they don't list a particular. It just looks odd, though, that stuff isn't listed at the top. First appearance, Hate Monger 1, FF21. Hate Monger 2, FF279. Final appearance, Supervillain Team Up number 17, and Hate Monger 2 is Secret Wars number 2. I'm guessing it's Secret Wars 2, number 2. Yeah. And then here we are, Hobgoblin 1, Ron Friends. Great artwork there. Great Spider-Man villain, Hobgoblin. First appearance, Spider-Man versus Wolverine. Oh, no, hang on a second. Back up. That's his final appearance. First appearance as Leeds, Amazing Spider-Man 18. As Hobgoblin, Amazing Spider-Man 238. So there's a great video from Comic Tropes. I recommend you go to his channel and watch it on how editors ruined the Hobgoblin character. It's a long and tortured history for this character. He was a great villain, and the mystery surrounding who he really was incredibly well handled up until the end, and it was ruined by some editorial influence or meddling. Final appearance, Spider-Man vs. Wolverine number 1 in a flashback, Amazing Spider-Man 289. All right. Lots of great Spider-Man panels here with Hobgoblin. 5'1", can that really be right? Was he really that short? Okay, he enhanced his strength to match Spider-Man's. He could lift press 10 tons. His only superpower was his strength. And then here's that exhaustive list of all of the comics. I guess they're going to finish it next issue. pretty ambitious on their part. So yeah, that was our read through of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Deluxe Edition, number 17. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Let me know in the comments what you think of some of these characters. But I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.